There's two kinds of education, a couple of kinds of education. One is passive. Student basically gets into a classroom and he's got the 3-ring binder and his notepad and a pen, and he's got a couple books, and he listens to the teacher talk at him. And then he goes and he takes the tests, and then he goes home. It's passive. He has just been instructed. The second type is active. The classroom brainstorms a list of ideas like this. Can't read it, obviously. They're all over a variety of subjects. The leader starts it, he's chatting, gets this discussion going. And then they split up into small groups and teach each other things that they are excited about. We're teaching individuals. I'm a volunteer teacher. I work for free. I work in adult income re-education. Very, very specific, like a business scenario. I teach people how to get a good job or how to start their own company. My mission is to provide free education to anybody that wants it in this specific area. I have no budget. I have no school supplies. I borrow everything. I borrow classrooms. The students come in without anything. And if they want to make notes, they can make notes on a piece of paper. They can bring their own pen. They got to get excited. They got to have fun with this. So I'm turning students into teachers and getting fully sensory involved. So therefore, I have no payroll. I'm not paying anybody anything. They're excited, they love it, and it's free. I work in closed facilities. My students are roughly 18 to 88. They're professionals in terms of with people with licenses, bankers, you name it. They're all over the board. There can be veterans, there can be homeless, there can be mental patients, baby boomers. They're coming out of a long recession. Call it whatever you want. It's a recession. And in that process, what's happening is they're poor, and they're waiting to retire into poverty. There's seniors that have been seniors for a long time. They're getting older, and the inflation's starting to really hurt. They can pay their rent, but they can't eat food. There's something terribly wrong with that. These are people in crisis. They can also be people that are going into prison. They have an option to be in classrooms or go to prison, or they're coming out of prison and they don't want to go back. They would rather not go back. There are people in crisis, and they're in crisis for all sorts of reasons. It can be drug and alcohol, it can be anger, it can be pride. All sorts of things can drive them to crisis. What I do is quick and dirty. People get to work in 30 days, and they start companies in 7 days. That's my record so far. It's very quick, but the clock starts when they're ready, and not a minute before. We teach people to go direct to the decision maker. Information's in a sealed envelope. It's not intrusive, and it works. In our little classrooms, now we've got them excited about something, and they're working with somebody on an individual basis, or with 2 or 3 of them that are excited about the same subject that they pulled off of a list, and they're diving into it, and they're having fun with it. So we've got the first flag covered. They're actually doing something about it. They're challenging themselves. It's literally a flag. Their eyes are glazed over when they're talking about it. They're so excited about it. That's passion. And then it would stop and turn into nothing if they didn't take a look at the second flag. And the second flag is about structure. Structure. You can't do it alone. That's already been learned, because you learned your passion by working with other people. And now in structure, you're saying, I've got to bring somebody else into the puzzle here, because I can't do all these jobs myself. You're going to start a nonprofit, and you're good at one piece of it, but you're not good at all pieces of it. You need somebody else. Bear in mind, this isn't science fiction, this isn't a dream story, this isn't anything like that. This is reality. This is actually being done. So there's no surprises in here. But what I envision are storefront schools, one-room schoolhouse, a place where parking is free, it's near the bus lines, anybody can walk in and take a look at what's going on and participate in the class or not. There's going to be a mass of people that don't want it. They don't want it now. They will be in crisis at some point and they will say, okay, we'll step forward. We're going to staff that class with people from entitlement programs. There's all kinds of entitlement programs, a huge population. And there are people in that group that would just love to get involved in something like this and learn something. And for what amounts to donations of $1 or $2, that kind of thing. And we can support a storefront on that level. And we can have classes 7 days a week, around the clock. In 1776, Ben Franklin said, we need to lead people out of poverty, not let them get used to it. That's a very profound statement in the formative years of this country. I'm particularly involved with this because I am doing it too. I am looking at that second flag, starting a teaching company. I'm right there with my students. I totally get what's going on. I understand their difficulties and how difficult it is to learn sometimes, what they're, what's going to drive them. I'm very, very comfortable with this. And I believe that everybody has passion. Absolutely. There is nobody that doesn't have passion buried in them somewhere. That includes mental patients. You can go through the entire list of people that I've talked about in this. That's our mission. Make it available. Have these schools available to everybody. We're talking about right now just here, but there's no reason why this can't be everywhere.